having you here. So this is Jenny Bingham, uh, Sensual Passions Coach, and we have been working together for a few months now. So I'm going to be asking you some questions so you can share your passions and what you're doing and how you're helping others, and we can see how we can help more people going forward. Before we go further, if you tell me about your journey, a little bit about your journey, and then I'll come across why you're doing that. But before that, tell us about you and your journey, please.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for having me, Chaminda. My journey, well, that started a couple of decades ago, actually, when I decided that I wanted to be in a serious relationship. I put my all in. I was young. I didn't know what to expect, what to do. So I just went with the flow, talk, engage, interact, and be as kind and thoughtful as possible. I didn't realize it's more than that because knowing myself was really important. I didn't know myself completely yet. And understanding myself as well as understanding my partner is also important. But that was a learning process in itself. Mm, so for example, when I when we were having a happy time, it was great.
Mm.
We were excited. We're getting to know, okay, this is going on. We're together. We're gonna be together forever. It's gonna be fantastic. Um, but then there were issues. We didn't have any guidance. We
Right.
didn't have any one to turn to say, hey, ask these questions, understand these things about your partner, about yourself. So we just tried what we could. Then the lack of understanding caused friction,
Right.
and it caused frustration, and it caused a distance. I was pulling myself back, and he didn't know how to fix the situation because he didn't know what the situation was. So we just kind of drifted. Mm, the thing was, we had a chance to connect,
Mhm.
but the lack of experience, understanding, we just end up not. And there was anger that started to grow. It's like, no, 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 don't want this anger. So instead of it escalating,
Mhm.
we decided to break off.
Right.
So that was my first long relationship. Mm. So the next relationship, oh, this will change. This
Mhm.
will be the best. The work I've learned. I know stuff. I have a life experience now. I did, and not necessarily the right key ones.
Right.
So years of um, different research, guidance from uh, psychologists, um, grouping together, chit chat with friends who were in similar situations.
Right.
It was difficult because it's a hush subject. The aspect that we were very shy to talk about was the intimacy,
Yes.
the connection. And without that connection on that side, for women, we feel kind of empty. We feel lost. And if we feel lost when we're in a relationship, well, I felt alone in my relationship. I felt rejected.
Mhm.
I'm thinking, okay, I guess this is normal for now, but it was just more and more and became depressive. That's not healthy because I was not a happy person and he was not a happy person. So, in order to break that sadness, this long relationship came to an end. And that happened in different repetitions. So the last long one, I thought, okay, I'll put into practice extra things I've learned, the research, the different counseling groups. It took a long time. Um, I was at a point where I actually said in my mind, if he goes with someone else, that's okay. If he cheats on me, I don't mind. I don't care. When I realized I said that to myself, oh, this is not good. What? No, 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 this can't happen. So I tried a new tip or technique. I tried new approaches. It didn't work right away,
Mhm.
but it started to work a little. So I got discouraged. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, if I go and get somebody else, would that actually make a difference? Wait a second, stop. As if I'm thinking this. And I was not wanting to go that path. It was not something he was a good man. He
Mhm.
still is a good man. And my heart was not there anymore. So I thought, okay, let's really look into the deep down things within myself. And I found I have some abilities in here.
Mhm.
I have some strengths that I didn't realize. So I use that in a more playful manner,
Mhm.
myself, how I usually am, and a curious sense. And the engagement with him starting to improve. There was more flirting, more interaction. When I talked about things or got his attention, uh, things were just going really well. At that point, the downfall was I was just being robotic with these actions. My heart already, my feelings for him already stopped completely. I was trying these different maneuvers and techniques to see how I could rebuild loving him the way I loved him before. But didn't, it didn't get back to that spot. So a dear man, a dear individual, I said, okay, he deserves to have someone who is fully committed to the whole relationship. We ended up breaking. But then I knew, hey, these things I found out with my personal abilities, my strengths, my um charm, I didn't know I had before. If I would have used that prior to this frustration, prior to this sadness that started to grow, the whole situation would be different. Okay, so I want to help other women to be able to reach that great point where, okay, the bond, the understanding is a lot stronger, a lot closer, more within the grasp than we realize. So then you're not going to go over that last point. So today I'm very happy in my relationship. I'm very open with him, and my shyness, my playfulness, my maturity, my immaturity, it's all things that I was too afraid to let come out. With certain ways to react or address situations, it it just proved that okay, we are meant to be. So that's how the journey started for me. Now the
Yeah.
thought is helping others to
Mhm.
reach that before they're at that point where okay, they're too sad or depressed or discouraged that they want to continue.
Mhm. Wow.
Hmm.
Thank you for sharing this. It was great. So it's like something that we need to be uh, continuously doing. It's not like something you do it once and then leave it at that. It's like exercising your body, keeping it up so that you're fit every day. It's a similar thing. You're eating healthy stuff, so it's similar, and you keep your relationships healthy the same way by exercising the same things that you do.
Exactly, exactly. One small example, and people are not aware.
Right.
Did you know that just physical touch, let's say a hand or a shoulder, it actually activates an atomic, like our atoms, that type of level, strength and bond and connection. So the people who have the opportunity to just hang on to hands or say, oh, hi, I miss you, or a hug or anything of the sort, even touching feet, that that electricity between the two is like, oh, I recognize this person. I recognize this person. Okay, let's build this and make this a stronger root foundation.
Right.
Not many people are aware of that.
I don't think so. No, yeah. No, I can feel it when you say it. Yes. When you touch someone, you get that feeling like the electricity kind of feeling. It's yeah. No, that's true. When you hug, especially someone, it's like, yeah, that's why when someone is sad, you give a hug, right? So with it's the same with your wife or your partner when you are in a relationship, because after a while, people tend to be like, oh, she's with me and I got nothing to lose, kind of thing. I think that's where it starts to fall, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So tell me about what you do, how you help. And yeah.
Mm. The ways that I help really depends on the situation.
Uh-huh.
So if I take, for example, this one woman, she was with her husband for about 22, 23 years. And the past, she explained to me, 10, 15 years, they got in a routine. So they were robotic. They just did what they need to, and that's that.
Right.
Uh, and then she said she felt more like a roommate instead of her husband. And it was something where they just continued the day. It was forgotten. Say thank you for the coffee. Simple little things. Oh, I forgot to mention, depending on the individual's love language. For her,
Right.
she needed to hear the thank you. I appreciate your effort. Like, oh, you're looking great today. So for her, hearing that, oh, her face would light up. Her whole body would just electrify. Oh, other people, it's the actual physical touch. And it's like, oh, hand on the cheek, the nose, the ears, the back, and it could be all innocent. So anyhow, so with her, she realized she would share this language with her husband, and he's was, oh, okay, sure. And she missed it because she wanted that language.
Mhm.
We realized and we figured out afterwards he was a man of service, of actions. He would do things to show that he cared and not say things. So that was a learning point for both of them. But once that was realized, like, okay, and then he recounted all the stuff, the little things that he did for her. Oh, he really did care for her and showed her in a different manner. So yeah, so that's how I was able to help these two individuals there. So it depends on it on their particular situation.
I see. Yeah, I've read that book actually, Five Love Languages. It's an amazing book. Yeah, and yeah, until then I didn't know about this, and then I realized, yeah, I've gone through a divorce and I know how it is. And maybe if I had read this, maybe we would have changed things in the past as well. So it's yeah, it's amazing how you don't see. You expect certain things, and your partner is expecting something totally different. And you're thinking, oh, because you're expecting this, your partner is expecting the same thing. It's no, it's you're talking two different language. Wow. So you identify the languages, and then you talk to them through that. Okay, that's how you help. Wow, that's wonderful. Okay. So you gave me an example. Do you have any other examples that you can give me? It'll be nice to know.
Um, there's a couple who, again, they were together for 21 years,
Uh-huh.
and they were trying to figure out, well, how could they increase the passion in their relationship? Because it was again a routine, and they did the every night they sat down and cuddled and watched a TV or had a conversation. They were intellectual as well, but they didn't know how to make that spark, that little pizzazz.
Right.
Excuse. So one of the things I went to discover, Well, how confident is she with her abilities to move or dance or express herself? And well, what are the different things that he felt was in enticing? So it's like, huh, all right. And it's all in their comfort levels if they want to stay within it or grow past it. It's fun because just a little dance move
Mhm.
that she was shy, but she did, but she was shy, but she did. He was so overwhelmed, like, oh, my wife is the most sexy person ever. Even though she thought, I must look silly, I must look odd, what in the world am I doing? But because she hasn't done that before, and he said, oh, she's doing that for me.
Exactly.
She's expressing herself for me. Oh, I am the man.
Yes. Yes. Wow.
So yeah, that's another example there. Mm.
That's amazing. That's very true though. When someone does something that they've never done before, you feel that actually it's like special. Wow. It's actually for you, isn't it? So no, that's true. And the other thing is, yeah, something that we all realize after maybe a couple of years or even after a few months living together, everything seems like all responsibilities unless you change the way you treat each other and keep that going the same way, right? Otherwise, you just wake up, do this, and it becomes like a, yeah, mechanic, and that's it. Wow.
The the mechanic part of that is yes, it's responsibilities. Yes, it's needed. Yes, it's continuous. Now, a small thing to add, for example, here's your coffee with a sticky note, I love you.
Wow.
That's a small thing, but it's like, oh, okay. Or in a jacket or in a wallet, whatever, a little sticky note, uh, a big happy face, thinking of you.
Yes.
And the small things just add to it as well. Hmm.
Wow.
The
So
appreciation.
yeah, that's actually a very true because I have to mention my wife for fully. She always there's a sticky note every single day with my lunch every single day, and it's amazing. And I read it every single day, and I feel blessed. So things like that, it's small things, but that you can do,
Mhm.
they mean a lot, right? So yeah, it's amazing. Wow. So we talked about who you helping. So who do you help? Do you help? I understand from what you said, it's long-term relationships. Is that right? Could you explain who you love to help?
Mhm. The main people I'd like to help is women in long-term relationships who are realizing that the intimacy is has broken down for a while or dramatically, and
Mhm.
they want to increase the joy, the passion, the intimacy side because they're feeling empty or frustrated with that, well, I help them realize, okay, so what is within their control? What is an area they want to see their ideal relationship? And then get through different steps slowly to that position. Now, I also help single women. And
Mhm.
then I have some men who ask me questions as well, which makes sense
Yes.
because in the process, I start with her.
Mhm.
She adds some information and does some things with him. Say, oh, that's fun. That works. Not this. Okay. Then afterwards, providing that he wants to join right away or join in a little bit later, the two of them are together and we have couples activities, some fun little things.
Mhm.
Um, for example, just to say how well you know yourself or how well you know your other half. I get them sitting back to back
Uh-huh.
and they have her shoe, his shoe. And I ask them a question. And then, okay, who is the one who is more outgoing? Do they both lift up her shoe or do they lift up their own shoe? So with questions like that, oh, all right. And it's bringing out some points that they realize, oh, okay, I thought I was more outgoing than you. Well, no, because this, yeah, because that. So
Right,
it brings a more playful
right.
environment in a situation.
Okay. And do you in when you're do you test all five love languages together or see what works for which one? Is that a technique that you use as well?
Hmm. There is a questionnaire
Uh-huh.
that they could go through and see which one resonates with them better. And
Uh-huh.
when we do the actual 8-week program, it goes more into depth. Let's
Right.
say we're just doing an afternoon session, then it's
Uh-huh.
like, okay, one or two questions in each category. Ah, this works for you better. Here you go, here you go. And then that's where we work more on that foundation to increase their next step for improving the passion side of the relationship.
Right. So you mentioned about an 8-week program. Could you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Mm. Well, I have that
Uh-huh.
where when we start, I'm speaking with her
Uh-huh.
for the first 6 weeks, and we go through a variety of steps where she gets the next technique, next t- I guess you could say uh, personal expression, an ability
Right.
that she either realized she has and she wants to improve or did not realize she has and then uses it. And throughout every week, she has fun going through these little things and see the reactions of her man. At week number 7, we say, hey, husbands, boyfriends, partners, come on over. And then they get to join in for the for the 7th week. And on the 8th week, that's when we say, okay, let's confirm our goals and what you want to have for the next 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. Hmm.
Wow.
So that's what we do.
Thank you. So this, do you have any other events that if anyone is interested, that they can probably try it out or anything like that? Anything, how can they, let's get to how can they in a minute, but if you let us know if there is anything else that they can start with, maybe.
Okay, well, definitely start by going on my Facebook account because I have a lot of free information and tips and points there that people could look at.
Right.
Then um once, well, every second and fourth Tuesday,
Mhm.
and at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, well, there's going to be a a conversation, relationship question and answer with Jenny.
Right.
So that's the Tuesday, just back and forth. Some people send me questions and I will answer it. And if people are there brave enough to ask me questions while the session's going on, great. I'll answer it right there as well. Now, with that, we could do a one-on-one call, which would be a virtual coffee chit chat. And I have a calendar, and whenever it works best for them, just let me know. And then
Right.
we'll be able to book that individual chit chat there.
Oh,
And then once a month, the second Thursday of the month,
uh-huh.
well, that's when I'm going to give a full, almost 45 minutes information session
Right.
and give a few tips of all the different categories that I'm touching when I go and help the different couples.
Okay. Thank you very much. So if they follow you, if they start following you, they will see all this free information and they'll be able to join this. Okay. And on top of that, they can. The first call is do you do like a session? The coffee chit chat is you don't charge for that, do you? It's free of charge.
It's completely free.
Right.
And it's to make sure that I understand fully their situation and see how well we work together and if we're the right fit.
Right.
Once they know we're the right fit, I'm all in on helping them reach their goals to improve the connection, the passion, the understanding, the intimacy, just changing things around in the way that they feel most comfortable. Because some people want to be pushed beyond their comfort zone, and some people want to stay conservative.
Right.
Both of them works well.
Okay. And something I think uh, maybe people think is that after a certain period, they get to think like, oh, this is how it is, right? And it's not the case, right? It's not how it is. We can change things and make things better and have the same sort of feeling with your partner, same sort of relationship. Because sometimes maybe because I'm saying this because I felt that before, not that I'm feeling now, but before I was like, oh, this is how every relationship is. After some time, it's like a car, and as well, it goes deteriorate, yeah, depreciates like that. So okay, so it's not like that they can improve it and they have to work. Everyone has to work to keep it going. Okay, that's pretty pretty good advice. And I will be sharing your Calendly link with it so they can anyone can book a call. Another thing that I think is people are reluctant to maybe say this in public, right? They're not going to say yes. They're not going to raise their hands and say yes. I don't feel this. Blah blah blah. So when if that's the case, what's your advice? How can they raise their hand? What is the way to maybe they can DM you? Is that a good way?
Definitely. So direct messaging me is a great way to start. And I will share some information and points if they wish. And the other thing is, when people send me questions, I don't have to identify who they are because the relationship question and answers
Right,
sessions I give, I say the question and I give the answer. It will apply to so many people out there, and they don't have to know who asked the question. I'll simply say, here's a question I got, and then I give a reply for there.
right. Now, that makes a lot more sense because it might answer to a lot of people, and it's similar questions everyone has, right? I'm sure.
Mhm.
Okay, that's pretty good. Thank you very much. So I'm going to share the links. And is there anything that you can give, any advice that you can give within, like, say, 5 minutes to uh, uh, maybe to a new couple,
Mm.
and secondly, to a couple that feels like this, like they have been together 15, 20 years maybe, but they're feeling like, oh, this is going nowhere. I don't feel any love. Maybe my husband or my wife doesn't love me anymore, but we still want to hang around because of the kids, maybe because of how long we've been together, maybe, I don't know. So for some reason they want to hang around. What tips would you give them?
Okay, first I'll start with the new couple.
Yes.
Your thoughts are only your thoughts. What you think the other person is thinking is your actual thoughts. Ask them. I'll give an example. With my other half right now, he had a piece of pear that he left on the table. And I'm thinking, well, I've been picking up things all the time. Why did he leave this pear there? Does he think I'm going to always pick up after him? And I'm thinking, is he think I'm going to be, his mom now? Just dressing like, what is he think? And this happened just a couple of days ago. So it does happen even in longer relationship. It's like, what in the world? Like, I'm not gonna pick this up. And in my mind, started to get frustrated. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm thinking this. So finally, I asked them, hey, honey, I noticed that a pear is there. Are you starting a project or something that I don't know about? He goes, oh, right. I want to feed the goldfish and I forgot to put it in a tank. Like, oh, that's it. My thoughts were my thoughts only. I had to ask him, say, oh, what is this about? So my frustration was not required. So that's one thing for the new couples, or even all couples. Your thoughts are just your thoughts. Ask, and in a nice way, because it could be just a simple situation.
Right. Without judging. Don't
Oh,
make assumptions.
correct. Correct. And it's normal for the human mind to quickly come up with a solution for an answer because they're trying to figure it out.
Yes.
When we know what's going on both sides, that clears it. Um, so for the couples been there for a long time, sometimes it's easy in a sense that, oh, what have we not done in a while? Where have we not gone for a while? Here's a list of questions. And because we know each other, we already know the answers. We think we know the answers. Let's try something new and write it down and just pick it out of a bowl and have a chit chat like that. It could be very intimate questions, it could be innocent questions, adventure questions. So that sometimes, no, usually that would spark
Yes.
some interesting conversations and some follow-ups as well.
Oh, thank you very much. No, this is very helpful, actually. Okay. So finally, I want to ask about we've been doing your marketing stuff. So what do you think about my team and how we have performed?
Chaminda, your team is fantastic. Myself, I'm not a technical person, and these little back and forth explanation, clarifications, bringing the media up and going through what's in my head and putting it down. It's like, yes, that's how it's going. I have so much respect and admiration for the type of um, coordination and help that I've been getting from your team. I've seen my social media skyrocket because the way I present some information is good, but the way your team brings it up to make it a lot better is fantastic. So I thank you very much, Chaminda, and your team for great work on helping with my social media online.
Thank you. Thank you very much. No, I just wanted to clarify at the same time. So uh, thank you very much, Jenny. It's a pleasure having this conversation with you. And I'll be sharing the links so anyone can get in touch with you or book a coffee chat or Calendly booking and move forward because sometimes we don't think we can get to that sort of level. Actually, I know by experience we can. We can have the same passion, the same love and relationship and enjoy every single day you spend with your spouse if we follow this. Actually, I have got some information and tips from you as well, which has helped as well. But yeah, saying that, I recommend if you think anyone hearing, listening to this or watching this, if you think it's not working well or if you are having some questions maybe about your partner, maybe I'm not sure what I'm doing right or wrong, get in touch with Jenny and then you'll be able to discuss some things and get more advice from Jenny. And yeah, thank you very much again. It's wonderful to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.